Stanley Kubrick, a name synonymous with cinematic mastery, redefined what it meant to create horror on screen. From the creeping unease of The Shining to the existential dread of 2001 A Space Odyssey, Kubrick didn't just scare audiences, he unsettled them, planting seeds of discomfort that lingered long after the credits rolled. So, when Kubrick found The Vanishing more terrifying than most horror films, it raised an intriguing question: what about this film left such a profound impact on him? According to director George Sluicer, Kubrick called him after seeing The Vanishing to tell him it was the most terrifying film he had ever seen. At the time, Kubrick had watched the movie 10 times and was deeply impressed by its structure, haunting ending, and the performance of Johanna Terstege. So captivated was he that he even offered Terstege a role in his unrealized film Aryan Papers. Sluicer, taken back by such high praise, asked Kubrick, "Well, you directed The Shining, haven't you seen that?" Kubrick's response was, "Yeah, but that was child's play compared to this." But what is it about The Vanishing that earned such admiration? Stick around because by the end of this essay, we'll uncover why this film left Kubrick shaken and how it achieves a level of terror that transcends traditional horror tropes. Kubrick's approach to horror was never about jump scares or cheap thrills or the usual horror tropes. For him, fear was psychological, rooted in atmosphere, pacing, and an audience's imagination. Take The Shining for example. The film's most chilling moments come not from overt violence, but from its oppressive sense of isolation. Jack Nicholson's slow descent to madness and the labyrinthine corridors of the Overlook Hotel that feel as if they could swallow you whole. Kubrick understood that real terror often comes from what is left unseen or unexplained. He created worlds that suffocated you with their own logic, where ambiguity and dread were far more effective than traditional jump scares. The Vanishing, directed by George Sluicer, operates in a similar realm of psychological horror, but with a chilling realism that sets it apart. The film is not about ghosts, monsters, or cursed hotels. It's about humans and the horrifying choices they make. The story is deceptively simple. A man searches obsessively for his girlfriend who vanished without a trace during a road trip. But where the narrative leads is far more harrowing than any supernatural twist. The horror here comes from the mundane, the plausible. Every moment feels like it could happen in the real world. And that grounded approach is what makes it so unsettling. Kubrick's admiration for The Vanishing likely stemmed from its flawless structure and unflinching commitment to its themes. Like his own work, the film is meticulously paced, giving the audience time to absorb its atmosphere. There's no rush to explain the mystery, no over reliance on music to dictate how we should feel. Instead, it traps us in the protagonist's growing obsession, making us feel his frustration and helplessness. At its core, The Vanishing is a study of obsession. The protagonist's life becomes consumed by the need for answers, no matter the cost. This theme is explored with a cold and clinical detachment, reflecting the same kind of emotional precision Kubrick often employed. What makes this obsession so haunting is how it mirrors a universal human fear, the fear of not knowing. The film forces us to confront the lens we might go to in search of closure. Would we risk everything, our sanity, our morality, even our lives, just to uncover the truth? Kubrick likely saw in The Vanishing a kind of horror that he himself strived to create, a horror that is deeply personal yet universally resonant. Then comes the climax, a moment so chilling, so profoundly unsettling, that it cements The Vanishing as one of the most terrifying films ever made. I won't spoil the climax for you, but the ending doesn't just answer the film's central mystery, it redefines what we think of as horror. The terror here isn't just in what happens, but in how it leaves you feeling afterward. The aftertaste of the film lingers, gnawing at you, forcing you to sit with its implications. Kubrick, a filmmaker who understood the power of unresolved dread, must have recognized this as a masterstroke. So, why did The Vanishing strike such a chord with Stanley Kubrick? Perhaps it's because the film reflects his own understanding of fear, its ability to burrow into the mind, to unsettle not with the spectacle but with quiet, inescapable truths. The Vanishing reminds us that the most terrifying horror are not those we can see or hear, but those we can imagine, those that tap into the darkest corners of our psyche. Kubrick found The Vanishing more terrifying than most horror films because it isn't just a story about disappearance, it's a story about what it means to be human, to be vulnerable, and to confront the unknowable. And that, as Kubrick knew all too well, is the ultimate horror. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video essay. I hope it gave you a deeper appreciation for The Vanishing and an understanding of why it resonated so profoundly with Stanley Kubrick. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the fascinating world of cinema. Your support means the world and helps keep these conversations alive. Have you seen The Vanishing? And what did you find most haunting about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.